There are literally millions of people who want to begin their real estate investing journey, but those same people will completely glance over this critical aspect. Here is my ultimate foundation when it comes to real estate, and this will allow you to understand everything from the outside the box perspective. This is not legal or financial advice. First, we need to break down what is real estate investing. Real estate is land and or permanent structure that is attached to the land. Cool. Now that we got that out of the way, now we need to know what is investing. To invest means to expend money with the expectation of achieving profit and or material results. Now that we know what real estate investing sounds like, what it reads like, what does it actually look like? Now, before I show you what it looks like, please go ahead and like this video because I'm about to make real estate investing sound completely trivial. We are going to keep it simple. I call this the buyer-seller diagram. Let's say we have one person who owns real estate, and then let's say we have another person that has hard cash. Fundamentally, what happens is this. The person with the cash trades their money to the other person for the real estate. The agreed value of money between the buyer and the seller is called the purchasing price. Boom. There you have it. I have literally shown you every single real estate deal since the dawn of human civilization. This includes residential and also commercial. Congratulations. How do you feel? Comment down below. You're not happy with this? How does this help you make money? Well, let me go ahead and explain a little bit further. We live in a world where there are more people every day and everywhere. Do you know what there is less of every day and everywhere? Land. Taking you back to your economics class, this reintroduces you to supply and demand. There's only a fixed amount of land, and as more people want to live in certain locations, demand goes up as a result. There are a lot more factors that influence demand. That is a whole nother video that I have not made yet, so please go ahead and make sure you subscribe. Going back to our buyer-seller diagram, we are going to be reviewing residential real estate in the United States. Here we have people called real estate agents. They are there to make sure that no one gets scammed, things are done legally, and everyone is educated. There is one realtor that represents the seller of the home, and there's another realtor that represents the buyer of the home. And as a fee, normally the seller gets charged 6% of the purchasing price of the home. 3% goes to each realtor. Moving on to title companies, a title company is a neutral third party that basically ensures and insures the transfer of ownership between the seller and the buyer. When a property goes under a transfer of ownership, there are certain documents that need to be signed to show this transfer. Title insurance is there to protect the new owner and it is not required. However, it is highly recommended. Let's say you bought a property in this year of 2023, a few months went by and there's a problem with ownership, or a sudden debt is attached to the property. When title reviewed all the paperwork at the time, there were no issues with title when you bought it. Right there is a perfect example when title insurance will be able to protect you. There is a one-time cost for the service, and you can expect that cost to be around or less than 1% of the purchasing price of the home. These fees can be negotiated and or split between the buyer and the seller. One important thing that you need to remember is this. It is your right as a buyer of the home to choose the title company that you want to work with. It can either be for the protection and or cost. Now that I have shown you what are realtors, title companies, buyers, sellers, and fees, the next thing I need you to know is the application of this knowledge. Regardless whether or not you are the seller or you are the buyer, you need to know these two things. How much money was used on the property and how much money is the property worth now? At first glance, you would think, well, isn't the property worth what I paid for it? The purchasing price? Exactly. However, you need to reread the first question. How much money was used on the property? This changes depending if you sold or bought the home. Starting off with how much money was used, it is simple. As a buyer, the money that was used is the purchasing price of the home and the title fees. If you want to spend money remodeling the home, you can go ahead and add that on. Now, as owner, you need to ask yourself, what is the value of the home? This is where the main paradox occurs. You do not know the true value of the property until the instant you sell it. Not a second after, not a second before, at that instant. So all the money that you think you have, it is all an estimate. And to top it all off, when you do end up finding a buyer with the price that you like, you now need to spend 6% in realtor fees and additional fees for title. Now, I've only scratched the surface when it comes to real estate investing, but this is a very good step when it comes to understanding real estate. Believe it or not, a lot of investors, even realtors, know this process, but never take the time to break anything down. Just by breaking down this process, you can now see the different steps and most importantly, the costs. Personally, I'm a huge believer in knowledge being power. And with this foundation, you can now include more complicated steps in real estate. In regards to how much money was used, I have not even included additional costs, such as maintenance, repairs on roofing, framing, cosmetics, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, property taxes, landscaping, and hazard insurance. Yeah, it can get pretty intimidating. When it comes to how much the property is worth, I haven't even discussed property appreciation, rental income, and potential tax deductions. And these things are the entire reason why people even begin to invest in real estate. The most important part is that you now know the foundation and you can now begin to observe some of the real estate steps from an outside the box perspective. I hope you feel a little bit better, but now it's time to overwhelm you just a little bit more. For the finale of this video, we are going to be opening Pandora's box. The biggest plot hole in this entire video is this. Let's say we have one person who owns real estate, and then let's say we have another person that has hard cash. Everything that we talked about was assuming that the buyer has liquid money, hard cash. Currently in Texas, the average home is priced around $300,000. Do you casually have that cash plus a few extra thousand for title insurance to buy a house? You do? Great. Go ahead and call me. I know a lot of realtors here in Texas, and I can get you to buy a house within 1 to 2 weeks. If you're like most people, you don't have 6 figures sitting in hard cash. At that point, what do? This is where I introduce mortgages, which is my specialty. Let me tell you one thing. This definitely makes things spicier. I would love to dive deeper into this topic. However, you do not have all day, so I'll keep this video short and I'll keep it simple. When you do not have $300,000 sitting in your bank account, you need to get a loan on a house. This is called a mortgage. Now let's say you have $30,000 sitting in your bank account and you are willing to use up to 2/3 of that to buy a house. The rest of the $280,000 can come from the bank. To get that money takes experience and paperwork. The experience comes from someone like me who consistently works on home loan applications. Since you are borrowing $280,000, you now need to pay back the money you borrowed. And as a fee, you will need to pay the loan for fees and interest. If you want more information on what a loan is, go ahead and watch this video. Keep in mind, different mortgages have different requirements. One example can be seen if you plan on living in the home or if you plan on using the home as an investment property. That is all for now. I know this is a lot to digest, but I hope you were able to understand real estate investing just a little bit better. And if you can do me a huge favor and subscribe, that would help me out tremendously. My entire goal for this channel is to give you completely free, valuable content when it comes to real estate. And if you need any help in regards to financing a home, please feel free to reach out to me via phone, email, or one-on-one booking. And please have a great rest of your day.